I'm also live on YouTube with a shitty picture. How about that? Let me see if I can. La da 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 dee, la da 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 da. Tune down that brightness shining off my big old chrome dome. Kind of tone that down a little bit. All right, that's a little bit better. I need to buy some more lighting toys so I can get up on the lighting joys. Lighting boys and lighting toys. Okay, let me get my co-conspirators here on the line. At least one of them, and we can chat about whatever you want. Just kind of checking out this Twitch to see if it's something that I want to be involved in or not. Learning the little controls. I downloaded their little broadcast software. So far, don't see how I can. Oh. Yeah, now I can change my camera settings on it, but I'm the type of guy that has to learn by doing and by playing, fucking around with things. And so that's the way I do stuff. I'm trying to get a little bit of that gleam off my head. If it'll let me. Well, looks like on this device, that it won't let me. So you're stuck with it. And that's how it goes. I can't, whatever. Update your stream tunnel category and more attract viewers who are searching for streamers like you. I'm hoping D Fizzy comes on because he is my guru. He is my little twitchy bitchy. He is my muse. I got rid of my Twitter account, and so I don't see when D Fizzy is coming on. So friends, I'm also going fucking blind. This really. Let's see, gotta go there. Cheap D Fizzy impersonator. If you're watching me on YouTube or on Twitch, please feel free to get in there and chat me up, or just let me know you're here. If you think I'm suck, go ahead. I don't care what you think. I just want feedback. La di da di da. Oh no. Ba-doop bop boodly boop. Ba-ding dang. Hopefully I got the horse shit sorted out with my what's that email account? Every time I come on Twitch, and one of the reasons I really haven't used this is I come on and I have to fuck with the login process for the longest time. And it is just obnoxious and annoying. So look at my channel. And I believe this is me exploring the Tunaverse. And it looks, yep, okay, not too bad of a lag. Use the share. I don't know if my intel agent has found it or not, but we will see. WhatsApp is one that one of those apps that I just never got. I mean, I don't know. Am I just old and stupid and naive and dumb, and I just can't figure out what all the kids are into? Like, I thought I wanted to get on TikTok. Then people like told me, no, that's just a bunch of little kids. But I see people older than me that have regular channels and do quite well on TikTok. They have a more targeted kind of thing than I do. So, whatever. In a way, who needs the aggravation? Well, let's. Oh, do I have to? There's a nice one. That's a nice tuna. I think the tuna is a beautiful fish. And it tastes good too. Where did it download to? Let's try this again. As long as I'm boring this shit out of everybody. Okay, I'll use this one. Fuck you. No. What the fuck? Everything's got to be a hassle. Everybody's going to sign up for this, register for that, enter your email for this thing. And no, I don't want to. I want to do that. Just give me the thing I wanted. Just give me that little thing, and I'll be happy. Where on here does it show how many people I've got watching? I mean, it doesn't look like there's any. But whatever. That was an awful lot of goddamn trouble to go to just to post something on Instagram. I guess I'm stupid. I guess I'm really just an idiot because I can't seem to figure out all these things that all these 12-year-old kids are doing. And they seem to do it with ease. And like I've said before, they've dumbed everything down. You know, cell phones and push button, go live. But if you're, I've got a technical background. I was a sound engineer for years. And so I know all about how soundboards, and I know a little bit about video and stuff, but then you get on here and it's all just horseshit. But here I am. And I've got a nice looking microphone. I bet if I took this thing apart, it'd be a little 38-cent electric element in there, or probably a shitty Korean SM57 knockoff element in there. And all this nice pop filter looking stuff is just stuff. But it works, it's there, and it adds that little extra low end for the proximity effect. Yeah. And the stupid little mixer has a soundboard thing, which I can. Yeah. Ain't that something? Someday I'll actually be ready for a show. And actually I have topics and subjects all lined up and ready. My favorite Facebook. So I figured that Facebook would be the place where I catch the most fish. But so far that isn't true. Who knows what it is? I figured Twitch was a big bad thing. And apparently that's not really true. What is the share function on Twitch? Promote your stream on social media. And I did that. Stream long enough for people to trickle in. We recommend 2 hours. Okay. Experiment with different days and times to see when your audience is online. Okie dokie. Trying to look at my own channel. There it is. 2, 3, 4. 4 second delay. Not as bad as YouTube. Right, a nice welcoming message in the chat to encourage people to chat. Like Speak Freak. Now I use the Punk's Not Dead category, if there really is a category. I'm an old punk rocker. You might not think it, because I can no longer grow a mohawk, so I grow a this in overcompensation and to hide my double chins. But look, I'm wearing all black. That's kind of punk. That's sort of punky. Maybe that qualifies me as a goth too. Now what's beeping here? Not that. I was getting a little bit of feedback there. A little ding dong, bing bong. I don't care. And it's still just going. Just chattering away. I'm not sure what I can do to stop it. I'm not sure I even care. But here I am. And I am chatterizing. Actually, I should probably go broadcast on Chatterbait too. But if you're watching me on YouTube, please get in the chat and chat with me and give me hearts and stars and clovers and whatever else they got to give their little things that eventually are supposed to turn into money. I think most people that I know or that would be interested in what I've got to do or say at all this time of night, they are out at the shows. They're out watching music, live music. They're out at the bar partying. They're out to eat. And I really wish I was out to eat. My tum's tummy aching, so I need food. Um, yeah. But yeah, so there's one friend is on Facebook on a Friday night. It's just now about midnight. Come on, phone. It's 12:08 in the capital city. Which capital? First one of you that can tell me which capital I'm the capital of in the capital city will win a prize. I've got some prizes to give away. I do. I really do. Um, no one will save you. I talk a lot about UFOs. Sometimes even I get tired of the UFO topic because there's a lot of stories and stuff, and there's the main stories like Roswell and Kecksburg and Area 51 and um, so on and so forth. The Villa Vorti down in Los Loviza, but we. Um, and we all hear that same stuff over and over again, and I can recite chapter and verse most of those things, and there's other broadcasters with their UFO channels that do it better than me so far. But one thing I've got is the name because I'm Bob Cutler and you're not. Um, well, we could listen to the police scanner, but I don't know how interesting that is to the rest of you. And sometimes I really have my doubts about how interesting this is at all. Oh, look, my cousin's up. And there she is. You know, it would be really funny. I've got my rock star cousin. Um, I got a couple of them. Uh, but it would be fun to get her to come on live and talk about it. She certainly had an interesting life. And if this is like the Punk's Not Dead channel, she sure as fuck qualifies because I guarantee you that any of you that have been into punk rock for more than 15 minutes has at least seen her picture or seen her in a video. And probably don't realize who and what she is. But she's interesting and she's really cool. Sometimes she can be a little bit too cool, but that's fine. But once I get a little more comfortable with the webcasting and doing all this kind of shit, and if she's got the means to pop up a webcam or something, um, She's actually someone that if I thought she really needed it, I would send her a laptop just so she could come on my show. And she knows a lot of interesting people. She lives out in San Francisco now. Actually, she has for quite some time. But she could get some interesting people to come on. Some of the most interesting and famous people she knows probably would not come on to a show like this, unless it's, if I wouldn't, I could put a big MTV logo back there and they might go, oh, yeah. But I'm anti name dropping for her. She knows some really cool, but she is really cool on her own. She's written poetry books and she's got albums out and she's been on the cover of Punk Globe magazine probably a dozen times. Drip Whip just posted something on Facebook. Conspiracy theory time. Okay, what if TikTok isn't China's attempt to sabotage or spy on us? It's their attempt to save us by giving us a platform our government can't censor. Interesting. So I'm going to hijack her thread and post a link to, no, not to that. Stupid, dumb. But to this. Talking of. Yeah. So there, I just hijacked her little thread. So I'm a dick like that. Supposedly mercury is in Gatorade or some shit. Oh, ha, ha, ha. I do this because you can't read Facebook. And my feed is so much more interesting than yours. I did a kind of a more localized version here earlier. It was more Topeka centric for all the nobodies that watch that. I mean, the nobodies that are nobody's interested in that. Nothing makes you feel like a bigger nobody than sitting here broadcasting to nobody. You know what I mean, Vern? What else? I'll say what else is going on out there. I hope D Fizzy comes back on. So I think that would be just hilarious to have him come watch me. He'd probably like, oh, you really are really old and dirty and kind of a creep. And fuck you. But maybe he'll dedicate like 6 or 8 weeks of constant broadcasting talking about what a creep I am and some sort of immoral behaviors. You never know. There's no such thing as bad puberty. I mean publicity. I've got plenty of Arizona iced tea, and I am looking for this. Some protein. I should have been over like that. It reveals how fat I am. God knows I don't want anybody to think I'm fat. It's the camera and adds 10 pounds. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-pound cameras on me. That's 50 pounds. There must be hidden cameras because I'm 100 pounds overweight. According to my doctor, I'm trying to do something about that. There's some shots similar to that Ozempic stuff that would help me lose weight because I'm one of those type of people that for me to lose weight, I pretty much have to stop eating altogether and exercise 24 hours a day. Because I've got, as William Brimley put it, diabetes. I got diabetes. And my body doesn't quite function like it should. But there's this Ozempic shot that you can get, people like me can get, and it would really help me lose weight, which for me would be a godsend because that would really help out a lot of my physical ailments, including my sleep apnea, which was made so much worse because I got those big old blobs of fat around my neck that when I start sleeping and, and then I die several times in my sleep. That's probably what I'm going to die of. Little gallows humor there. If I wake up dead, chances are that's why. I've had friends that I've slept in the same room with or slept in the same room on, or while they were driving, and they were like, "Ah, Jesus, you scare the hell out of me when you're sleeping." And I'm like, "What do I sleepwalk with a knife?" Like, no, you stop breathing altogether for like 20 seconds. And a couple of months ago, I had a little monitor thing implanted inside my skin, so I've been chipped. They can watch me wherever I go, and it links up with my phone. So if you think TikTok and Bill Gates and everybody is spying on we're spying on ourselves. We're handing the info over. Anyway, this thing monitors my heart, and they say, no, I'm on some medications that have made this a whole lot better, but sometimes my heart will stop from 5 seconds to 8 seconds to 15 seconds at a time as I'm sleeping. Basically, my heart stops. They call it a pause. And I didn't know what was going on for a long time. And then after I had my stroke last year, I went to a hospital and they figured it out. Oh, your heart stops while you're asleep. Hey, great. I stop breathing and my heart stops. I die in my sleep every night, sometimes 20 or 30 times. Anyway, it's a deadly downward spiral. And I'm not saying all this just to get boo-hoos and things. God knows I don't want to get addicted to anybody crying over me. Leave that for D Fizzy. Snark. Um, I like him. I really do. I mean, and not in like pervy old man way. I like him that way too, but not, now that he's legal, it takes the fun out of it. And I joke about such things. So, anyway, we, sounds like my intel agent is coming in through the secure lines. What was I saying? So I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something I ate. But yeah, this Ozempic type stuff would cost me over $900 a month. Uh, my Medicare stuff won't pay for it. If I want it, I have to go pay for it. And this is stuff that could literally really change my health and my life and prolong my life. But they're like, no, And maybe their thinking is, it's just like, well, maybe if fat asses like you die off more often, then then we won't have to spend more money on you down the road. So go ahead and die. Save us all a few bucks. Because it's all about saving bucks, right? Make America great. Um, yeah. So anyway, I got to find out a way that I can get this stuff. Uh, oh yeah. Anybody out there have sleep apnea or using these Ozempic type? I forget the name of this medicine, but it's a lot like Ozempic, and used in treating diabetes, and it kind of gets your metabolism back into burning off the fat and stuff. For some reason, my body doesn't burn off the fat. It's not because I'm lazy and slovenly and sloth-like and bulimically shoveling carbs and sugars in my face 24/7. I mean, I do all those things, but uh, after a while, your pancreas breaks down. And I remember times in the past, a few years back, I would never do this now, except for tonight, buying a big old bag of Reese's peanut butter cups, and that's just sure choco carbs and peanut butter, sugar, that giant chain of sugars that it turns into instantly. And I would sit there and eat that entire 2-pound bag in one sitting while I point and laugh at fat people and fat shame other people. Joke's on me. Um, so here I am, 100 pounds overweight. A couple of years back, I did get down to 200 pounds for the first time since high school. For me, I was a mean, lean fighting machine, and according to my height and weight, whatever that table is, just under 200 pounds is my ideal weight. Um, I am 5'11". Okay, 5'10.5" with lifts, but I can't poof up my hair so I look taller anymore because I don't have any hair. I don't know if you noticed that, but I I was walking every day. I had like a 4-mile round trip thing, and I would walk. I did the Atkins diet, um, no carbs, no sugars, and the weight did come off. It took maybe 6 months, maybe not, and I got down, and I was pretty happy with that. And then I sort of slowly, well, now that I'm down to that weight, I can eat some of this. I can have some chocolate. I can have, and I gradually just packed it all right back on. And about that same time, about 8 years ago, what year was that? I don't want to say 2008. It was more like 2012, 2010. Um, Years back, I quit smoking, and I was like a 2-pack a day, fucking smoking. And a billionaire that I know online, some of you might have encountered him, Alki David with Battle Cam, and he challenged me. He's like, I will give you $500 a month, CHROMETUNA, if you quit smoking. I'm fuck, okay. And I dramatically took my packs of cigarettes and cut them up with a knife and threw my lighters and ashtray and everything into a trash can and made a big production of it. And I said, okay, there, I quit. And I did. Um, Amazing what money can do to your willpower. And so a month goes by, and Alki comes online and goes, I'm happy to pay your $500, but that's it. And so he kind of broke the deal. The original deal was, I will pay you $500 a month for every month you don't smoke. But he's like, I have no intention of giving you $500 for the rest of your life, especially now that you're going to live longer. I'm pretty convinced that if I hadn't quit smoking at that point, that I would be dead by now. I would definitely have lung cancer, and I'm still feeling the effects. I feel a lot better than I did, and, and I'm still not smoking. Definitely healthier, but I probably would be dead by now if I hadn't. So, what was I going to do? Alki paid me the 500 for the first month, and then said, "That's it, no more." Well, I'll show him. I'll go back and start smoking again. That was actually my first knee jerk reaction. Then it's like, well, wait a minute. I've already gone through all the pain and suffering. It's been 30 days. Those are the worst parts of like all the physical aspects of quitting smoking. Why go back to it now just to spite him? You know. So here I am, 10 years later, however long, and still not smoking. But I've got a bunch of other physical problems. But part of the not smoking thing is I immediately gained weight because without having the thing to do with my hands and mouth meant I had the urge to eat more. And tobacco is kind of a natural appetite suppressant. So I was more hungry. And uh, alcohol or tobacco is an amphetamine, a speed, and it speeds up your metabolism, so you burn off stuff more. So anyway, my metabolism crashed, my appetite went up, I ate more stuff, and all of a sudden I'm this Goodyear blimp you see before you. 300 and some odd pounds. I'm not happy about that. I'm not proud about that, but that's the way it goes. I would rather have this than still be smoking because cigarettes, well, in some states, cigarettes are like over $10 a pack. And so let's do some math. Anybody know how to do math? Uh, and chime in and win a prize if you can do the math. At $10 a pack, and you have 20 cigarettes in a pack, and say you go through a pack a day, so 20 cigarettes at $10 a pack. How much does each cigarette cost? Is it 50 cents? Is it 50 times 20 would be $10? Anyway, I just gave you the answer. So no prize. But you should jump in the chat anyway if you're out there watching. Kind of looks like I got a couple of people maybe hanging around on my Twitch. And I could do what other people do, which is go with other chat rooms and fish for viewers. I don't really like doing that. I hate it when people do it to me, but that's something I could do, but I won't. Ozzy Osbourne, he might be on the way out the door. Last I heard, he was not doing well at all. And pretty much there's talk that he's on his deathbed. He's got Parkinson's and some other neuromuscular diseases. But for a long time, Ozzy has been telling people don't smoke tobacco. This is my intel agent. More than 35,000 people registered to vote after Taylor Swift post. Wow. Taylor Swift called out to fans to register on National Voter Registration Day on Tuesday, and Swifties answered in droves. Let's check the date on this. September 21st, 2023, just the other day. I wish I'd known it was register to vote day. I would have done some. I'm already registered to vote, and I hope you are too. A lot of people might get a little tired of talking about voting and elections and politics and stuff, but it's important. If you ignore it, then you end up with people like Trump in charge. And some so-called conservatives or MAGA hats think, oh, well, that's the way we own the libs. That's the way we're going to own the woke people. Kind of like Henry Rollins said about, some of you people seem really obsessed with owning people, owning other people. Didn't we fight a civil war about that? Swift posted on Instagram and Instagram story directing her 272 million followers to vote.org, a nonprofit organization that offers voter registration services. Are you registered to vote yet? Swift wrote, I've been so lucky to see so many of you guys at my U.S. shows recently. I've heard you raise your voices, and I know how powerful they are. Make sure you're ready to use them in our elections this year. Actually, I think the important elections are next year. But I'm sure some locations and localities have their own local elections. And that's important too. Local elections are probably more important than national ones as far as what directly and immediately affects your quality of life. Vote.org averaged 13,000 users every half hour after Swift's post. Nick Morrow, the website's communications director, posted on X, the social media site formerly known as Twitter. Let's just say her reputation for being a mastermind is very well earned, Morrow said. Is she going to run for president? Actually, I would get way more... As much as we make fun of Trump for being like this pro wrestling idiot of politics, I would respect and be more excited about Taylor Swift running for president than I would about AOC or some of these others, because she is not a stupid woman. Vote.org registered more than 35,000 users after Swift's post, which was a 22.5% increase from the previous year. Organization CEO Andrea Haley said Wednesday. There's a 115% increase in registration by 18-year-olds when compared to last year. The organization also helped 50,000 people verify their registration status. That's important and a notable figure as well. That means that many people were like, oh, I'm going to go check to make sure I'm registered. Want to know something even more wild? We see an 849% increase here compared to 2021. 849%. This generation's eagerness to participate is a game changer, Haley said in a social media post. They are the future, and their energy will shape the outcome of upcoming elections. Yeah, a lot of the old fuddy-duddies are dying off. And I think quite a few of them are feeling really burned by Trump. And there's always going to be the diehard Trump fans that just insist, oh, the election was stolen. Oh, all of these indictments are just political warfare. It's just a way to politically slander him. Well, but look at all the good things Trump did, like, what did he do? He made America great again. Haley described the numbers as Voter.org's love letter to Swift for amplifying voter voices. Isn't that special? The pop star first broke her political silence in 2018 when she spoke out in support of Tennessee's Democratic Senate candidate Phil Bredesen. She slammed the record of his Republican opponent, then U.S. Representative Marsha Blackburn, citing Blackburn's opposition to certain LGBTQ rights and voting against the reauthorization of the Violence Against Women Act in 2013. In the past, I've been reluctant to publicly voice my political opinions But due to several events in my life and in the world in the past 2 years, I feel very differently about that now, Swift wrote at the time. Despite Swift's support for Bredesen, he lost the race to Blackburn in 2020. Swift endorsed the Biden Harris campaign. Her 2018 post also encouraged voter registration. In it, the singer advised her fans to register to vote and to educate yourself on the candidates running in your state and vote based on the who most closely represents your values. And yeah, there's a lot of things I like about Tay. She lets me call her Tay to her face. I can't say Tay to her tatas because her eyes are up here. But yeah, there's a lot of things I like about Taylor Swift. I only like a couple of her songs. I don't know what any of her other songs are. So, but the fact that she speaks out and uses her platform to do some good besides profit, I think is pretty cool. And most of her fans are, for the most part, fairly cool people. And yeah, so good on her. What else? So go vote. Make sure you are voted. You're vetted to vote. Go to the vet and vote. Vet and vote and Vidi Vada. Vidi Vada Vici. And so here I am, late Friday night, waiting for D Fizzing to come on to Twitch. So I can follow his shit some more. He's pretty funny sometimes. But also broadcasting on YouTube. I'm just getting back into this, just getting kind of warmed back up. This week has been a trial and error kind of, like I said before, feeling our way through the darkness. To try and figure out, how to do this, what to do, what platforms are best. My niece, who seems to have a knack for this, my nibbling niece with a knack, and she said that YouTube is probably my best platform. Facebook, I'm getting fairly well ignored on, and that's just the way it goes. That's fine. I could put on the police scanner, but I think a wider audience out there really doesn't give much of a poop about what goes on the police scanner, which is so sad. So sad. More intel coming in. Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift, and more musicians encourage fans to register to vote for midterm elections. Now, does Kansas have any midterm? I don't know. Kansas is where I'm at. Love it or leave it. And Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift, and more musicians encourage fans to register to vote in midterm elections. Harry Styles and Billie Eilish have also recently taken part in voter registration initiatives. And these all seem to be fairly woke, liberal, Democrat, I assume. In celebration of this year's National Voter Registration Day on Tuesday, Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift, and more of the world's biggest musicians are doing their part on social media to encourage fans all over the country to make sure they're ready to vote once midterms elections come around this November. So if you're tired of politics and you're sick to death of Trump, and whether you're a MAGA head or a libtard, uh, you you the best way to do something about it is to just fucking go vote, and don't just blindly walk into go look at the candidates, see what they're about, and see what actually matches your own values. And of course, we all got to understand that all of those candidates are going to lie about it to some extent. They're not really going to give you the real poop. But yeah, there you go. There's something you can do about it. Vote in some people that are going to be boring and get the job done. So yeah, I don't know if Kansas has any midterms. A little brief history of musicians getting out the vote. On Sunday night, Taylor Swift broke her infamous political silence. I didn't know her political silence was infamous. She announced her support for two Tennessee Democrats in the upcoming midterm elections. They really need to get rid of Mitch McConnell. I mean, granted, he's about ready to shuffle off this mortal coil anyway. Just the way he's been freezing up and dying on stage. Who wants to take on the odds of Mitch McConnell and Ozzy Osbourne dying on the same day? Yeah. And when Ozzy dies, will he be Ozzy Osbourne again? Yeah. In 1966, James Brown performed at a march against fear voting rights demonstration rally. Yeah, this isn't anything new. Back in the 60s, there was a huge rallying cry for a lot of musicians. And if you don't like the idea of Ted Nugent style politics, yeah, nobody wants that. Anyway, so here I am on YouTube and on Twitch, and I've got links for that up on Instagram and Facebook. And the way this has to be done is you just have to kind of sit here and wait and see you catch little fishies swimming by and drag them into your little world and make them sit down and listen. I might be the only person watching myself. Of course, I have a feeling that I'm probably a lot older than the average Twitch user. From what little I've seen of Twitch, it's like younger gamers. I'm not a gamer. I'm probably old enough to be your grandpa. So just by that criteria alone, somebody's going to come swimming in here and say, "With the old pedo." Such is life. Speaking of pedophiles, don't vote Republican. It's kind of funny on my police scanner group on Facebook. Every time they bust somebody for child porn or illicit fondling, whatever, of a child, I always have to make a big deal out of the fact. You notice they're not a drag queen. They were not a drag queen reading stories to kids. That matter of fact, look at that guy. He was a cop, or he was a corrections officer, or he was a youth pastor at a church. You know, those are who your pedophiles are. That's who is grooming your kids. Like that picture that showed up floating around of old Kyle Rittenhauser, old rat house, little kid that shot a couple of people up in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and turned into the right wing NRA hero. There's a little picture of him when he's like 8 or 10 years old with the machine gun, his little rat face. Yeah, it's like, no, that's grooming. You know, and we've got a little festering boil happening here at the Kansas Department of Corrections as more and more of their guards, prison guards, especially the women's unit, are getting sent up on complaints of rape and brutally brutalizing the female prisoners, especially, but also male prisoners. And of course, that side of the cops always like, oh, but those prisoners will lie about anything to try and think it's going to get out of, they'll make an accusation just thinking it'll get them out of their sentence. And like, no, when you have like 20 of them making the same accusation towards the same guards over and over again, like, you got a problem. And I've had a few friends that have spent time in penitentiaries, and they said there's no problem getting drugs in there. Anything you want, it's there. It's a bit more expensive, but you don't have any other cost of living expenses, and it's obvious the guards are bringing it in. What they need to do is they need to set up a sting operation and put some FBI agents in the cells, and I'd be willing to pay them a little extra for that, and let them do a sting operation in prison and bust some of those guards. In Topeka, it's pretty well known on the streets that the cops are selling meth. A couple of years ago, we had one of the school resource officers, a Topeka police officer at Topeka West High School, that got busted dealing meth. Oh, but he was such a nice guy. He was so good with the kids. Well, yeah, I bet he was. But how do you really expect to clean up the crime on the streets when the main people pushing it are the cops? You're lying. That's not true. You shouldn't say such horrible things about the cops who are so desperately trying to protect us, and they might not ever come home at night. Well, bullshit. I'm going to post this link in another place. We'll see if that goes. La-da-da-dee, la-da-da-da. It's so nice that you all came out tonight. But, yep, so here I am at Twitch and on YouTube, waiting for my flocks and drones and droves of people. There's a drove. Get in a drove and fly here. Because people are supposed to flock to me in droves. I don't know what a drove looks like, but it must be big because a flock can fit in them. Yeah, no, it's funny. There's one of my favorite TikTok channels, and I think they're also on YouTube, is Ask a Spy Anything You Really Want to Know. And this girl, her dad is a retired spy that did real life spy stuff in Russia, and he's a pretty smart cookie. And so people send in their questions, and she asked her dad about spy stuff. And somebody asked, well, what about TikTok? What about TikTok stealing all of our information and spying on us, and it's the Chinese government? And he's just like, if you're worried about that, you need to be more worried about our own government doing the same exact shit. Word is that Mark Zuckerberg has given our own NSA and everybody unfettered access to all of Facebook, which is bigger than TikTok still. And he said, if you're worried about that sort of thing, then you need to get rid of your Siri and your Hey Google, your little home assistant thing, where you, Hey Google, play that new Taylor Swift song or whatever. It's like they can totally spy on you through those. And all the little cameras on your devices and stuff. Yeah, they can get into that, and they can listen to you, and they can track you, and they do it. Usually not unless they have a reason to, but I think sometimes they do randomly just spy on people just to see what's going on, and kind of a dragnet sort of thing. I really wish you people would chat with me. I could go to other people's rooms on Twitch and spread my bullshit around, but I just think that's kind of rude. But I think it's even more rude that those people aren't just coming over here to watch somebody they don't even know. How rude. So that's where we're at right now. The stream looks pretty good. Looks like it's flowing pretty well. If you're doing drugs, looks good on Twitch. I could probably fire up Facebook too if I cared. Except I'm using my thing for the stuff and that thing to hold the other thing up. So maybe. Well, speaking of Intel, 29 years ago, they knew your screen resolution, the language you used, where your ISP was, and the keystrokes. 20 years ago. Oh, yeah. And that's real basic kind of metadata. That's just kind of the technical stuff. But now they can get even further into that. And one of the things I really worry about with AI, artificial intelligence, is how they're going to be able to use that to crawl your profiles and to build these whole profiles of you. Now, granted, on one hand, they don't need to do that because we've already done it for them on Facebook. It's kind of weird how some of us paranoid conspiracy theorists open cameras and turn on microphones. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they can do it. It's kind of cool because on my cop top, the laptop that came out of a highway patrol car, it's actually got a little built-in slider thing that you slide over the camera to turn the camera off. Yeah, it's they are definitely spying on us. They've got that huge 30-story building in New York, supposedly AT&T, but it's the NSA data center. And if you ever really wished somebody would fly the airplane into something in New York, it would be that building. I'll probably get a visit later tonight for saying that. Beef jerky. I want D Fizzy to come online. Partly because he brings this whole crowd with him. And some of those kids are cool. They probably don't like me, but whatever. A couple of years ago, I kind of challenged D Fizzy because he's one of these guys that looks 10 years younger than he is. He's like 26 or 27 now, but he still looks like he's 17. And a couple of years ago, he looked like he was 14. I mean, cute. He got dimples in his hair and things. And in a way, he gets away with a lot. And kids, people tune into him and they watch him and they worship him and they love him and stuff. And I said, if I did the exact same things you do and said the exact same things, none of these people would react to me the way they would react to you. And what I was doing, I was making a commentary about how people are so looks oriented. And if you're cute and young and sexy, they love you. But if you're old, dried up, and if you're me, they don't. Yeah, content be damned. But I mean, that's not really all that saying all that much. It's kind of the way of the world. It's sort of the way it's always been. But D Fizzy, I think at least he tries to live by example. He tries to lead by example. I think he puts out a good set of values, core values that he tries to enforce and talk about. Things like sexual assault, sexual offenders, or people using their privilege, their position in social media and stuff to take advantage of others. He's worked to take down a couple of kind of nasty fellows, guys that were in bands or that were YouTube or influencers that use that to take advantage of younger kids. And that's pretty cool, I think. as long as he doesn't turn out to be one of these guys, that talks and talks and talks about it and then ends up like, oh, but he was actually kind of nailing that 14-year-old the whole time. It would not entirely surprise me if that. I'm not saying that's the case. I doubt it. I would be disappointed if it was, but that's the way it goes so often. But it's usually when people are coming at it from this really Republican, MAGA, evangelical point of view, where they say, oh, we got to ban drag queens and we got to go after homos because queers are bad for kids and gays are just trying to groom your kids and stuff. And then it turns out that those are the people that are actually doing it. Duh. Jerk Beefy. So yeah, if you're watching me, on whichever platform you see me on, you can go ahead and chat me out. I think Twitch is mostly a gamer platform. Yeah. That person has just a bunch of people watching them play video games. That is just not something I am into. Let me try and tease some of my homies. Oh. Suddenly my brain goes dark. Some of these people, once they see me in real life, they'll probably be like, ew, no, I don't want to. Yip dip a dee. But you get a couple of people in, and some of these things that'll snowball, and more people will come in, and then more and more. Just got to find people that are all the cool and hip kids are out doing stuff. I should send them things saying, oh, look at all the horrible things I'm saying about you. Use that sort of at first. The thing with the stuff that everybody's always on about. The clickbait is what I was thinking. God damn. It really sucks having had a stroke. and I guess just getting old, more and more words fall down the memory hole. And I have to struggle for words like just now, trying to think of clickbait. I knew the concept, I knew what I was trying to say, and it was just kind of there, and it took me a second. But I've had other spells where I'm just sitting there trying to grasp at a word, and it just evades me, and it annoys me and frustrates me, and even scares me because I've got a huge vocabulary, and not being able to access it is kind of frightening. So yeah, I can't tell how many people are here. Doctors and podcasts. Right. Okay. 1.2 thousand viewers, 3.5 million followers of that. So we'll give that a shit shot for my show, because I got a shit show. Yeah, okay. So I modified that a little bit. Let's see how that goes. Jump in the chat. Let's talk. I don't know how late I'm going to go tonight. Well, I already did my kind of local show earlier. I was tired and worn out all day and frustrated. And I had to make a bunch of phone calls. I've been trying to get my colonoscopy scheduled. My primary care physician had referred me to a colonoscopy center here in Topeka to get that taken care of, and I've been trying since July to get this scheduled, and I don't know what their problem is. As soon as I say my name, they're like, "Oh, we'll have to call you back," and then they hang up the phone. And there's something they called my brother today because he was listed as, who to contact in case of emergency, and they said, "Oh, well, we've been trying to get a hold of him, but his phone goes straight to voicemail." And I'm like, really? if that was true, I would still have some sort of record of you trying to call. It would be in my recent record caller list. And why not leave a voicemail? How about that? Or how about when I call almost every day, then you actually just set the fucking appointment? Like, come on, Jesus. Uh, ooh, I got a massage. Right. Okay. You see, my buddy uh, Jesse comes on and watches me make a fool of myself and babble incoherently to nobody, because that's where I'm at. I don't know if he's ever actually seen me. So, hello, Jesse. If you're there, talk on the Twitch thing so I don't feel like such an idiot. You don't have to stick around forever if it bores the shit out of you. That's fine. I understand. But we get on the chat. Chit chat with Tootie. There's a huge echo. Oh, so he is. Okay. Let me, I wonder what is echoing and how huge it is. I got your echo down here. If that's how huge it is. Yeah, thanks. That's the kind of feedback I want. And so I can probably mute that. I would think that I would be hearing the echo. It was. And, how about that? Is that any better? Did the echo go away? It's repeating. I think it stopped. Okay. I hope so. It's hard to see how I've got 4 of these microphones here. And you know, one thing I could do is I could put on the headphones, and that'll at least tell me what's going on through this microphone and through the little mixer doodad. And oh, I have just enjoyed that so much. So according to this, there's no echo, and looks like I actually got a couple of people on the channel watching. Feel free to get in the chat. I do a little bit better when I have people to bounce ideas off of. I've also got my intel agent that sends me things on various back channels. Ukraine war. The latest is Zelensky to speak in Canada after strike on Crimea Navy base. Good. Wish I was up in Canada. I can go see him. I'm a big fan of Zelensky. Yeah. Zelensky delivers upbeat message to U.S. lawmakers on war progress as sub-Republicans support softens. Yeah. Sounds much better now. Thank you. Never give me toys. Yeah, thanks for the feedback. Appreciate that. I'm trying to figure out how I can get more viewers. Of course, this is the first time I've ever casted it on Twitch, and I kind of feel like maybe I'm just too old. I know this is mainly a gaming platform, and it seems to be geared for a much younger audience, people that probably don't give a shit. Like, who's that fat old guy? What the fuck's he battle politics? We don't give a shit. Oh, but Taylor Swift says you need to. Oh, we don't. Fuck Taylor Swift. She farts into the microphone. You think I should stream no matter what? Are you just saying that to keep me off the playground? Huh? Um, yeah, I kind of agree. Years back when I was doing this on JTV, Justin TV, I did some really silly things that seemed to work. Um, I had a whole big thing I built, lasers that shined lasers on my head. This whole contraption looked like old Doc Brown from Back to the Future, like something he would build. And it was strapped on my head with these lasers, and I would just sit there, and I'd say, and then people would come on, and a couple of famous bands managed to pick up on it, and they'd come out, and they were just like, "Whoa, look at this idiot," you know. And gradually, I kind of evolved. You remember that? Okay, you remember the laser hat? I've still got that somewhere. I need to dig it out and get it working again. uh, Advertise on other platforms. Yeah, I put the links up on Facebook. I'm also broadcasting on YouTube, and I've thrown the links out there. And somebody, Lisa Mc, MacGyver, Magruder, Lisa Zapruder, somebody is on there saying, "Hey Bob, where are you? I am in my secret honeycomb hideout where I've got all these fancy microphones." Yeah. And yeah, I'm down at the you're not one for politics. Yeah, that's right. You're a lover, not a fighter. And politics isn't for everybody. Um, and sometimes it can be pretty alienating to people that aren't really up to speed on politics, and uh, they don't want to go dig into this. They hear all the weird shit that Trump does, and they're like, "I'm not into that. I don't care." You know, I dig it. You know, this is true. You're a lover, not a fighter. How's things going in your world? Are things a little more upbeat? Because I see your posts and I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. Yeah. So Lucy Magruder, who is that on watching on whatever? I'm an idiot. Uh, you're just getting. Oh, that's right. You had COVID, but now you had gotten the vaccine, so COVID probably wasn't nearly as bad for you this time around. Was this the first time you had COVID? Because I got all vaxxed up and had the boosters and everything, and then last year I got COVID after getting in these huge arguments with people on Facebook about, no, if the vaccines work, you will not get COVID if you get the blah 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 blah. And yeah, then boy, proved myself wrong. Got the first two shots. Second time you've had COVID, right? Um, but you got COVID after you got the shots. Is that right? Because that's, I think, that's, and what people argument. There's this false logic. Uh, they use this logic like it it doesn't work 100% of the time, therefore it doesn't work at all. And yeah, I think the shots do prevent it from being worse, except maybe in people that already have some sort of immunodeficiency uh, type thing, uh, or say if somebody's missing a spleen or something. Some people can't get the shots, from what I understand. And but yeah, there's that huge wave of and it was mostly led by uh, idiots, the anti-vaxxers. Oh, I got the vaccine now. I'm autistic. uh, those people, no science to it, and they can pick out like some individual anecdote and say, "See, that proves." You know, and I kind of agree that our government should never be in a position where they have to mandate that people get a certain medical treatments, especially with COVID. People kept saying, "But it's unproven." There's no proof behind it. It's like, well, yes, there is. There's actually a ton of science behind it. Yeah, but that's not good enough for some people. Yeah. I had a friend who had no health problems die from COVID without any vaccines. Really? Okay. Yeah, sorry to hear that. I think we all know somebody who died of COVID under various circumstances, but sounds like your friend didn't get any vaccines, and I'm going to hazard a guess that that was in the middle of the height of COVID in the later half of 2021. He was really young, ended up sleeping and woke up not being able to breathe. Oh yeah, he was just procrastinating. Yeah, there's a lot of people that went down that way, and my understanding is once you got it, they couldn't really go in and give you the vaccine, or I think they could, but it wouldn't do a whole lot. And then the hospitals were just so packed full of patients, people that got it, people that before the vaccine came out, and so a lot of people couldn't get adequate care in time because the hospitals were just overloaded. And so you hear these people, oh, the vaccines didn't work. You're like, well, yes, they did. They kept people out of the hospitals. They kept people that did get it from their infection being bad enough that they had to be hospitalized. Yeah. Yeah, that's sad. There's, I think, almost a million people. I forget what the latest death count was, but um, part of the count that science that I was watching came from John Hopkins University in Maryland, and I was watching there because they were one of the first that actually did a live updating, reporting state by state, area by area, accounting of new infections, and when it started out, and there's only 10, then 20,000 infections, and a lot of people are sitting around saying, "See, it's no big deal," and all the Trump humpers were saying, it's a hoax. It's a hoax. They're just the libtards are making this up so they could make Trump look bad, so they can get him unelected. Yeah. Well, a million deaths later, and where are we at? So yeah, sorry to hear you had a friend that died in that. Right now, it's uh, it's coming back around. There's two new strains that you give me a heart, but why don't you get on the chat and chat me up? Uh, Jesse, you would probably like Drip Quip. Um, she's pretty smart and pretty funny. Um, yeah. You don't believe in getting the boosters. Tired of sticking? Yeah. Well, you're a human pincushion. Uh, I can dig it. Although on the other hand, I'm kind of, how would you even notice? I think you've gone through life being such a pincushion that that what's one more? But no, I can dig it. Um, Once I got diabetes, you know, I kind of went from fingering my prick to pricking my fingers and taking blood sampling. And I don't bother doing that much anymore. Just, oh, I ate something and it immediately quadrupled my blood sugar. Uh, oh, wait. The Face of Horror. Um, Everybody should go vote for Gwen Troughton. Um, Doll creep, trash digger, low budget film enthusiast, and full time caregiver. Yeah, go to faceofhorror.org and vote for Gwen Troughton. And currently in third place, we can't have that. I can vote once. Verify by card. How do you do that? That's weird that his name comes up. How's this voter registration thing, man? Uh, oh, really? Um, how to verify you're a real person by giving you your credit card information. Now, for anybody else, I would have said, hey, fuck you. But I'll go out on a limb and I'll do this for Gwen. You've really disliked your job recently. Why? What's wrong with your job? Is that the job at the drugstore? Excuse me while I do this. Okay, I think I voted. But yeah, that's the one. But you should really go vote vote for the face of a horror. Because my niece is a horror. I mean, is the face of horror. and and she actually does pretty good at being a host. I've only watched her shows a couple of times, but I'm the creepy uncle that doesn't need to be watching her doing that. uh, excuse me. Been threatened to be written up if I don't finish our daily First thing I heard after being sick and coming back to work. Really? You think somebody was like mad because you weren't at work because you were sick? Or, yeah. There's so many workplaces, people get their little grudges and their weird little things. And, oh, they're doing it to everybody. A big crackdown. How are they? Yeah, that sucks. I don't miss employment. I wish there was an easy way to transfer this over to there and then put it up on the thing with the stuff. Yeah. Tired of the intimidation. Well, one thing you can try doing is when they pull that shit, just say, tell them that. It's like, hey, I'm tired of the intimidation here. You can fuck off or I will. And, you know, we're going to go back to your old job. At least you'll feel respected. Right. Yeah, I would take that route. Um, I remember years back, I I worked at a phone calling center and doing phone sales, and I was actually pretty good at it. And I felt bad, and it made me feel bad about myself because I could basically call people up once I got into a little practice and basically bully them into buying shit that they didn't want, they didn't need, and couldn't afford. But I would talk them into putting it on their credit card. And they gave me a list of mostly old retired people. I was selling Players Club, that little gambling thing that supposedly gives you all these discounts in Las Vegas and Reno and Atlantic City, and it's fucking bullshit. Um, if you really go to the casinos a lot, it might be healthy and worthwhile. But I'd call people up and got to the way, I could use vocal inflection and kind of some of the Ericksonian neurolinguistic stuff to get people to say, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so we'll sign you up. Yes. All right, give me that credit card number. And, but I'm sitting out basically a boiler room type situation and 50 other people on the phone. And had these guys walking around. They're supposed to be giving everybody pep talks, but all it really was that same sort of threatening horse shit. One guy, he'd keep singing, "You deserve a break today, so clock out and find your way to McDonald's." And he thought he was just so funny and hilarious, basically. If you don't like working here, why don't you go work at McDonald's? And yeah, selling people tacos. People are already there for the tacos. Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty cut and dried kind of service and things. You're not forcing people into things they don't want. But anyway, I just got tired of the constant, anybody that doesn't make 15 sales tonight is probably going to get fired tomorrow. We better see some increase in your numbers. Come on, you got to get the follow through. If you're not taking people immediately into closure on sale, then we're not going to give you your bonuses or whatever. They're little threats and little intimidating things. And finally, I just got tired of it. I got up and just looked at the guy, just like, "Fuck you," and I walked out the door. And he called me a couple hours later, and he's like begging me to come back. And I'm like, no, I'm done. You're an idiot and you're annoying, and I'm not going to put up with that kind of shit. And yeah, I was done. Yeah, that's so damn annoying when they're walking around and just browbeating you. I've got another friend that's he's pretty well intentioned and he has some experience in some of these things, but he everything is browbeating and everything is reminding you that he has this experience and he's so great at all this stuff and just little insults and things just every step of the way to the point where like you just tune him out and you just want to scream, shut the fuck up. But you're 2 payments away from fully paying off your computer. Cool. Yeah, I think I remember you talking about you bought a supercomputer. And are you able to make anything off of your broadcasting and gaming to like at least pay off the computer? Um, I'd love to get to a point with this sort of webcasting, get back to where I was when I had 11, 12, 1,500 people watching every night. Back then, there wasn't the monetization. Actually, there was, but I kind of got screwed out of it. And I let myself get trolled off the air. Stupid me. I wouldn't let that happen these days. But yeah. You personally do not like Twitch. Not enough from gaming, but I hope one day. Yeah, a lot of that stuff I don't understand. Me personally, I understand hanging out and chatting with people. Uh, I don't quite understand sitting there watching somebody else play a game. Um, it's just not my thing. But apparently other people love it. So who the hell am I? I actually make more money from Kick. Yeah, I like watching you game because at least your narration and your what do you call it? Your stream of consciousness and talk is funny and amusing and friendly. You know, other people are just like killed that bastard, shot that guy. And it's like okay, but do they have shows like this on Kick? Um, you love talking to people, right? Yeah, and you're pretty good at it. Well, that exciting. I'm sure they do. So maybe I'll try Kick tomorrow night or next time around and see how that goes. Uh, as per advice from my marketing genius, my niece, who does pretty good at this sort of thing, she told me that probably my best platform would be YouTube. Um, I think a lot of the people and the type of people I'm friends with on Facebook don't like this kind of thing. Just in general, when they're sitting around watching something, they want to watch a TV show or a movie. Yeah, there's a lot of chatters. It's a good idea. You got to be careful about what you broadcast on YouTube. Yeah, I know. There's several other people I know that have gotten shit canned and got their entire channel blacklisted because over one little thing, and then the copyright stuff. Um, a couple of years back, I had a channel with 40 or 50 videos on it, and then I put up this one. It was just a silly little 40-second video of a bridge blowing up. And this guy accused me of using his copyrighted video. And it's like, no, I've got my original tape of the event. And anyway, YouTube took his side, and they didn't just take down that video, they took down my entire channel, deleted my entire channel, and supposedly gave me a lifetime ban. Wow, that's a bit iron-fisted. Yeah. And I know who that guy is that made the big complaint. And one day I'll run into him in a dark alley, and I'm sure he thought he really struck some blow for copyrights or something, like he was really owning somebody. You fucking idiot. And I did fight it. I did argue it. And he showed his original video and I showed mine, and you could tell that we had our camera set up basically right next to each other. And but YouTube took his side. He was a photographer for a local newspaper, so he kind of had this credibility of being part of the press, and I didn't. He was just a fucking dickbag. And I heard from other people that worked at the paper or knew him that he was the kind of guy that lived for doing shit like that. Basically a Karen. Totally twat. So, yeah, I'll try Kick tomorrow night, see how that goes. I kind of get the feeling that on these platforms, gamers that are tired of gaming for the time being, but just want to kind of cruise around and see what other people are doing, are the type of people that would come in and watch my thing. I could get some more video software or an actual video switcher so I can do cutaways to other videos and band stuff to see if, right? Lost motivation today, pretty much did nothing. Well, you're getting over COVID, so that's going to happen. There's kind of some speculation that the stroke I had last December might have been the result of the vaccines. They said they did some things with blood clotting and could cause strokes. I don't think there's any way to really prove that. Or I'd be right in there trying to sue the pharmacy companies to give me some money. But yeah, then there's the long COVID thing where people that just have these symptoms that go on and on and on. And so it's just you and me. I'm looking at my chat, and I guess I know there's a couple other people watching on YouTube because I'm getting messages from them, but they're not in the chat for some reason. So I guess that is you and me there. But over here on Twitch, I got a couple of people watching. Looks like 2. Might be able to improve your streaming setup. You run this through OBS. Is OBS one of the streaming, like a software, virtual camera stuff that, yeah. I don't think I am. I think I'm using the Twitch in-house, what do they call it? Twitch Studio. So I'm assuming OBS is something that replaces Twitch Studio. I've heard of that before. I might have even used that before. What kind of PC am I using? On the Twitch machine, I am using a Dell laptop, XPS, fairly newish, and it seems to run all right. It's a touchscreen, fancy schmancy thing, and then over here on the YouTube machine, I've got a different Dell laptop, Toughbook. It came out of a highway patrol car. Uh, I ended up with five of them, and yeah, but you seem to have trouble reading text. Is there any way to enlarge your chat? I think maybe if you rubbed it a little bit, and the chat, enlarge my chat. Um, I really tried not to be one of those guys that has to make a sexualized joke out of everything, but it just comes so naturally to me. I'm sorry. Uh, I'm really not a creep. I just act like one. Uh, yeah, I mean, and I'm fucking going blind too. I should have some big old Coke bottle glasses. And I probably could if I changed my Zoom thing, if I could read it. Yeah. There it goes. Okay. That works for that. Um, Chat pause due to scroll. Okay. So yeah, that helps. That's a thanks for. I guess I knew that, but I needed somebody to point it out. So I can read that much better. Um, on the YouTube side, let me see if I can. Kind of hesitant to move things too much. Uh, More freedom on Kick. Yeah, it's. I kind of knew it would be a matter of trying out all the different platforms. Um, you're always the guy that wants to make things easier. Cool. Yeah. Um, Kind of hesitant to touch this camera to give you a shot at what I've got going on here. But here, I'll give it a shot. Um, Here's the whole setup. I mean, I've really got kind of a Seth Rogen, Joe Rogan kind of situation. I've got four of these microphones and the stands, and here's my two laptops. Uh, this is the one running the Twitch, and that's the one running the YouTube. And here I got the sound mixer that's running the mics, and it's got a funny little soundboard thing. And then the room is kind of got acoustic treatment. Had to hang some crap on the light to keep it from blazing off of my bald head too much. And let's get this back here and hope that it's in the right place. And yeah, I am back. So yeah, that's my setup here. Actually, this is in the maker space that I belong to. It let me see. So, I mean, obviously, this isn't my personal setup, but this is part of a larger workshop makerspace that I belong to, and I pay $75 a month. And there's all kinds of tools out there. I could build a space shuttle if I wanted to, and there's laser cutters and etchers and big CNC routers and electronics workbench. And this is where I come to repair my broken screens. And yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you decided to come in here and see what I've been getting up to. Um, this is a pretty cool setup. If This is set up mainly for just podcasts, audio podcasts, but if I wanted to, I could have guests come in and they'd each have a set of headphones and a microphone, and we could get all close up and we could get that nice ASMR proximity, um, effect. Yeah, I want to look into Restream. Great program to help with streaming to multiple platforms and keep chat in one place. Now that looks interesting. Restream. I'll definitely have to look into that. So it grabs all the chats and put them in one place, like I assume from Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And I'm so red because I'm a communist. I'm a sunburnt communist on this platform. I just now saw what you said on YouTube. Let's see if I can. What's going on with the webcam? There's a little bit of control I can do. Nope, I guess there's not. But I think to get in there and um, to change it, I'd have to disconnect and blah 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 and do the thing, and then about I get back. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's got better colors, and you also need your profile picture change. You're not the letter B. Well, believe me, I look like the letter B. Yeah, God. Sometimes I get so lazy and stuff like that. Yeah, I should. But yeah, you're right. What do we got? Use it for both Twitch and YouTube. And that thing should go away. Wait, no! What did I do? Where'd my chat go? I ruined it all. No, no, come back. Um, nope, nope, where'd my chat go? Add social links. Yeah, a lot of this stuff I was just kind of in a hurry to get on and get going, so I didn't do a lot of the pre-setup stuff. Uh, Talk about JFK. Jack Partain, my personal biographer, is here. Yeah, we're coming up on the 60th anniversary, or is it 70th? No, 60th anniversary of the assassination of JFK, one of my favorite conspiracy theory topics. Um, where did my chat go? I screwed something up on here on the Twitch thing. And I lost my chat. There it is. Okay. And on my profile, I got an inspiration from another streamer. Took some thought. Right. Yeah, good. I can do that in a minute. Hey, do we have a plan, Jack, for tomorrow? Go to the punk rock garage sale. Looks like the weather is going to be pretty cooperative. And yeah, it's just becoming more and more obvious. More information comes out declassified about the JFK assassination. I came to the conclusion a while back that Oswald probably did not fire a shot. And I think Oswald was an informant for the CIA and the FBI, and I think he stumbled upon the plot to kill JFK, and that's what made him the patsy. That's why the guys that really pulled it off said, "Hey, let's blame Oswald." Yeah, I sent a message on Facebook. Oh, okay, and yeah. And everybody needs to go vote. For Gwen. All right. Yeah. What time do I want to go? Anytime. Probably afternoon. Yeah. You decide. I'll make sure that I'm up. I think it's the one on Kick you were talking about. Oh, okay. Right. I have to pee real quick, but I will be right back. And a cool little thing I found out I can do on this is and I'll be right back. You're listening to my band, The Clusterfucks, and I'll be back in 2 seconds. I'm not like everybody else. 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 Yep, that's my band, the Clusterfucks, with our recording of a Kinks song. I hope I don't get a TOS violation for yeah. Heads up, you can't hear your band at all on Twitch. I can also hear you stomping around on YouTube. And to give you my resources for background audio, background noise. Right. Okay. I think part of it's this goofy little mixer. And I wonder if Twitch is actually using. Can you hear this? Is that coming through on Twitch? Okay, you'll call me. Cool. Here's a little intel coming in. You can't hear anything. You can't hear anything on Twitch? No? Oh, no. Did you hear that? Couldn't hear band on YouTube. Really? Okay. Huh. So that little part of it wasn't all that great. I could hear it in my headphones. Can only hear me. Check. Maybe if there's a way to. I hesitate to dig around too much with the stuff. Okay, I still seem to be here. Yeah. The other night the music was working. Right. Huh. Can't hear anything. So I wonder if it's. Was that loud and clear? Louder than my mic, because it might be that only using the thing with the stuff. See, and it's weird coming from a background of a professional sound guy who can run a PA system in front, huge, gigantic PA systems, 48 channels and blah, blah, blah. And then coming to this, somehow it's all different. See, in my mic, if I snap my fingers, people can't hear it. So you've got some sort of filter that takes it in. Offer promo for your channel, so good. Sell them something. I'm always suspicious of those types. Oh, I can help you promote your channel. Sound is overall better on YouTube. Okay. Um, Jack says he can hear it. It's strange. Let's see what happens now. Listen to those pipes. Now let's see what happens here. Oh, that's a huge. Can you hear that? Oh, place for advertising. Yeah, we're a bunch of broke asses. We're not going to buy anything. Can you hear that? Yeah. It's me that's so important. Not on YouTube. You mean Twitch? Okay, you can't hear it on Twitch? Might have an automatic deadening thing. What are you supposed to be? You're supposed to be hearing Lawn Man by the Clusterfucks. See, according to this mixer, that is blasting. Um, but apparently it's not coming out into this. I suspect that maybe it's the input. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Install advanced audio mixer. Supposedly that is the input. Okay, I think it's somehow it has something to do with the mixer. Fancy schmancy thing that I can't stand. Um, should I do that thing that the really cool kids do and go to all the other channels and just spam my link to my thing? You use two computers, one for streaming, one for gaming, and I use Restream to stream both platforms. Right. Only one microphone, and I use Voice Meter to feed my mic from one PC to the other. I see. Um, hmm. Yeah, it's just weird that. See, on this mixer, I'm expecting to see little controls and buttons for assign this to that bus and assign this to that output. And last night it seemed to be working, right? By Jeff, you might have been watching. This sounds like, yes, he's supposedly. I turned it off now. And I can hear it through my headphones. It's just not getting, but my voice is, which is strange because I would think that really. Are you guys hearing that? My live studio audience, did you hear that? Um, and look into all that. Might make it easier. Yeah, I've got I think no shortage of computing power. I've got two fairly recent laptops. They're recent enough to both have touch screens. And if I thought it really needed it, I could bring in a desktop I've got that's got a pretty decent processor and some RAMs on it. Um, yeah, that's just weird that's not coming through like that, and it damn well should be. Ugh. See, I don't, and I can't adjust the input gain on this mic like you'd think I'd be able to on a real mixer. But I think there's a bunch of digital functions on this that I'm not really hip to. Whatever. Um, so yeah, like I've been saying all week, it's just been feeling my way through the dark and figuring out what works best. And I'm not so stuck up and proud of myself that I can't learn something from other people uh, that I'd normally look down my nose upon. You know, but I'm this big badass sound guy, and I've gone out on tour with all these big bands, and I can run a huge PA system, and I should be able to just wave my hands over this, and it magically would all work. But somehow, uh, I can't. Somebody, I can't figure this shit out. uh, it sounds like an old AM radio. Yes, no. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it really doesn't. Things come in sort of all out of focus, but it's a learning process. I'm not going to beat myself up over it too bad, but I'm going to look into the things that you mentioned, Jesse, and figure out maybe the mixer isn't working. It's working to some extent, uh, but the part about this, it's got this button Bluetooth, and I can connect my phone to the Bluetooth and then play songs off of my phone through this thing. And it seemed like last night it was working, and the microphone seems to be going through. Um, so who knows? Sometimes computers, I was wondering if maybe let's try a little experimento. Okay, so the YouTube camera is not you. Yeah, using the mic off the YouTube camera, not off of the thingy. And one thing I hate is I don't think I can change while I am. You don't have access to this feature. Pop out dashboard. Right. Yeah, I'd have to shut this down, I think, and reconnect the feed from the thing, and probably the same problem on both. Believe. Yeah, I'm not. That sucks. So, and it's probably a similar thing on Twitch. I thought for sure that Twitch was. This is what I'm doing when I'm talking to myself. So now you can hear me typing. Okay, so echo. All right. So I'm pretty sure that that means that it's the camera's overly sensitive little condenser microphone coming through, and not it's not using the I can shut this up over here. Yeah, you can shut up. Right. CNOBS, you select each source individually. Yeah. That would probably be a lot easier. Check. Yeah, and I thought I had add source. Let's see, start using. What did I do? Okay, so if I go away, please come right back. Mm-hmm. Check. Check. Well, according to that, it is my check. No, that's still here. Plug this back in. And it's supposed to be the line input. Why aren't you giving me the line input? Line M. Okay. Is that this one? Hello. Hello. Yeah. Hello. What do you know? Why don't you know? Yeah, I know it's got to be frightfully boring to watch some guy jerking off on this stuff. Hello. Am I back? Am I on? Can you hear anything? Yeah. Okay. I know what I'm going to do. I am going to go get the OBS broadcaster and try that on Twitch. In the meantime, I'll leave this up on YouTube so YouTubers can listen to me jack around on there. And I'm pretty sure I've used this OBS, Open Broadcast Software. I think I've used this before. Frustrating. Yes, indeed. Okay, streaming key on Twitch. Oh, so dreary. Oh, you nasty, nasty thing. That is my username. Yes, it most certainly is. Does anybody else have this sort of trouble with Twitch? An error occurred. Couldn't find an account. Well, that is your problem. Send my password reset link. What kind of horseshit is this? Seriously. Fucking assholes. That is the goddamn password. Remember, we just reset it. Jesus. Fucking unbelievable. This is bullshit. What do you mean it doesn't match? Fuck you. Fuck you right in the ass. username and email, they do match. Fucking filthy pigs.